He was known for his love of peanuts, peacemaking initiatives, and building homes for the less fortunate. And perhaps he also helped save Canada from nuclear disaster. That's right, today we're looking at the life, campaigns, and most importantly, the medals of the United States 39th President, Jimmy Carter. More unassuming than bombastic, Carter came from humble roots to become the president of the most powerful country in the world in the late 20th century. Less well known, however, is that he started his career as a naval officer in the elite submarine service, specialising in nuclear systems and propulsion. I didn't see an official ribbon bar for Carter, so created my own here based on his medal awards. Looking at Jimmy Carter's ribbons, it appears he was awarded 4 service or campaign medals. And although strictly not a medal, we will also include Carter's Submarine Warfare Insignia. Carter states that as a young man he just wanted to join the Navy. Like many young people who join the armed forces, his motivation for joining was to leave a small town and to see the world. He was also encouraged by his uncle, who was a sailor, who sent him exotic postcards from around the globe. Jimmy Carter's naval career began when he graduated with distinction from the US Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, in 1946 after a demanding 3-year course. This course was shortened from the traditional 4-year period during World War II. In service and attending the Naval Academy in the last few years of World War II, Carter qualified for the following 2 medals. Medal number 1, the American Campaign Medal. Made of bronze, this medal was intended to recognise those military members who performed military service in the American theatre of operations during World War II and up until the 2nd of March 1946. This included Carter. The obverse features an offshore scene depicting a cruiser, a B-24 Liberator aircraft and a sinking enemy submarine. In the background are a few buildings representing the arsenal of democracy. Many believe, incorrectly, that this submarine is a US submarine surfacing, but it's not, and alludes to anti-submarine operations along the US coastline during the war. Above the image is the inscription, American Campaign. The reverse has a standing eagle on a rock, with the United States of America to the right and 1941-1945 to the left. The ribbon are 2 stripes of white, black, red and white near the edges, lighter blue stripes, and a central stripe of blue, white and red. Our second medal is the World War II Victory Medal. This was awarded to any member of the US Armed Forces who served on active duty or as a reservist from the 7th of December 1941 until 31st December 1946. The obverse is a figure of liberation looking to the dawn of a new day, right foot resting on a war god's helmet with the hilt of a broken sword in the right hand and a broken blade in the left hand. Also inscribed is World War II. On the reverse are inscribed freedom from fear and want and freedom of speech and religion, separated by a palm branch, all within a circle composed of the words United States of America, 1941-1945. The ribbon is a central stripe of red flanked by 2 rainbow stripes. After graduation, Carter spent 2 years in the General Service or Surface Fleet, but he was still keen for more challenges and adventures. On hearing about those bold buccaneers beneath the waves, Carter decided to join the Submarine Service. He then attended submarine school in New London, Connecticut. After completion, Carter was assigned to his first boat, the USS Pomfret, a Palau-class diesel-electric submarine based in Hawaii. This submarine was a World War II veteran boat and conducted 2 tours of duty in the Western Pacific between 1947 and 49. Carter joined Pomfret for its 2nd patrol in early 1949. This patrol conducted operations off the coast of China and Japan, as well as a simulated war patrol. It was likely as well that Pomfret conducted other tasks off the coast of China, in addition to carrying out the publicly stated simulated war patrol. We can speculate that perhaps one of Pomfret's more covert missions was intelligence gathering off the Chinese coast. In early 1949, during the time of Pomfret's deployment, the Chinese Civil War was nearing its conclusion, with the Communist Party under Mao Zedong nearing victory. During the course of the year, nationalist forces, along with large numbers of civilians, evacuated from the Chinese mainland to the island of Taiwan. This significant upheaval and its security implications would have been of interest to the United States and its allies in the region. Purely speculation on my part, but it's possible that in addition to other duties, Pomfret was tasked with various signals intelligence tasks, such as intercepting and analysing radio communications, gathering data on maritime traffic, and conducting imagery analysis of local ports or installations. This information, before the age of satellites and long-range aerial reconnaissance planes like the U-2, would allow US forces and their allies in the region to have more accurate knowledge of ongoing events and adjust their security posture accordingly. It was on this patrol that Carter likely earned his dolphins. Carter's third award is the Submarine Warfare Insignia. United States Navy sailors in the Submarine Service all wear a uniform breastpin to indicate that they are qualified in submarines, which is worn above all ribbons. To earn the right to wear these elite fish or dolphins, trainees complete an extensive and exhausting qualification process that can last up to a year and covers all of the submarine systems. After passing a qualification board, the recipient is awarded their dolphins by the captain. Rather than the British Navy, who down a tot of rum and catch the dolphins in their teeth, the US Navy has a tradition of tacking on the decoration, whereby other sailors punch the dolphins on the newly qualified sailor's breast. For US officers, the badge is gold, and enlisted personnel, silver. The badge, instituted in the 1920s, shows two mahi-mahi fish, commonly known as dolphin fish, flanking the bow and conning tower of a submarine. For service in the Far East, Carter was also awarded the China Service Medal. This medal was awarded for service in China or its territorial waters and surrounding ocean areas. It was awarded for 2 periods of service, the first from July 1937 until September 1939, and then from September 1945 until April 1957. This latter date was what qualified Carter. Navy, Marine Corps and Coast Guard personnel were eligible for the medal. Made of brass, the obverse shows a 3-sailed Chinese junk sailing ship surrounded by the words China Service in Asian-style font. The reverse shows a bald eagle clutching laurels whilst perched on an anchor. Above the design is either inscribed United States Navy or United States Marine Corps, depending on the branch of service for the recipient. The ribbon is gold with red stripes on either side. After service on the USS Pomfret, Carter was then assigned to SSK-1, also known as the USS Barracuda, on its pre-commissioned detail or crew. This was an experimental attack submarine and the first conventionally powered submarine built since the end of World War II by the United States. In this role, Carter served in a variety of positions, such as engineering officer and electronics repair officer. Carter then applied for and was selected for the fledgling nuclear submarine program that was being set up by Hyman G. Rickover, who became one of the most influential figures in Carter's life. Under Rickover's guidance, Carter contributed to the design, development and testing of nuclear propulsion systems in the Naval Reactors branch. His dedication and expertise in this area earned him a lasting respect from Rickover and played a role in advancing the US Navy's nuclear capabilities. Reportedly, Carter performed his technical and administrative assignments excellently, wrote Rickover in a fitness report. In the categories of initiative, moral power, leadership, loyalty, endurance, industrialness and military bearing, Carter received the highest possible rating from his stern and demanding boss. Carter's naval service also included a notable incident where he helped save Canada from a potential nuclear catastrophe. On the 12th of December 1952, an accident with an experimental reactor at Atomic Energy of Canada's Chalk River laboratories caused a partial meltdown. This resulted in millions of litres of radioactive water flooding the reactor building's basement. This left the reactor's core damaged. Carter was ordered to Chalk River to lead a US maintenance crew of over 20 men that joined other American and Canadian service personnel to assist in the shutdown of the reactor, something, as an engineering officer on nuclear submarines, he would be acutely familiar with. After practicing on a duplicate reactor nearby, The painstaking process required each team member to don protective gear and be lowered individually into the crippled reactor for 90 seconds at a time. This was meant to lower their exposure to radioactivity whilst they disassembled the reactor. Sharing the same risks as his men, Carter was lowered into the reactor. During and after his presidency, Carter stated that his experiences on Chalk River helped shape his views on atomic energy and led him to cease development on the neutron bomb. Later positioned for service on USS Seawolf, the second US nuclear submarine, Carter's naval career plans were cut short by his father's death from cancer. After 7 years' service, he obtained early release to leave active service with the Navy and return home to the family business that focused on growing peanuts. Not being a connoisseur of nibbling nuts, I had to look into the US peanut industry and was surprised. Peanuts are the 7th most valuable crop in the United States, with a farm value of over $1 billion. The US is also the 4th largest producer of peanuts and is a leading exporter globally. There is even a peanut fest in Suffolk, Virginia, which has a peanut butter sculpting contest and a peanut queen. Still, it's not going to convince me on the benefits of peanut butter, which I still think's gross. I guess it's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. Another interesting fact is that Jimmy Carter believed he saw a UFO in 1969 in Georgia, along with 25 other witnesses. He was reportedly one of only 2 US presidents who have admitted seeing UFOs. The other was Ronald Reagan. Serving during the time of the Korean War, Carter would have been entitled to his final medal, the National Defense Service Medal. This was awarded to any member of the armed forces from June 1950 onward who served during any one of 4 periods of armed conflict or national emergency. It's still awarded today. For Carter, this included Korea. Made of bronze, the obverse shows a bald eagle perched on a sword and palm with the words National Defense above. The reverse shows a shield of a US coat of arms as well as oak and laurel leaves. The ribbon has a yellow central stripe flanked by narrow stripes of red, white, blue and white. 2 wide red stripes continue to the edges. Interestingly, Jimmy Carter was the only US president to have ever been a submariner. Therefore, in summary, Jimmy Carter has an American Campaign Medal, a World War II Victory Medal, a China Service Medal, and a National Defense Service Medal. He was also awarded Submarine Warfare Insignia, known as Dolphins. His time in the Navy had a lasting impact on Carter's views and work ethic, which he carried on in later life into his political career and finally the US presidency. His naval career also gave him the foundations for his leadership skills, hard work and dedication to public service, which would define his life and legacy. In a fitting tribute, the final Seawolf class fast attack submarine, USS Jimmy Carter, was named in honour of the 39th President of the United States. Thanks for watching. I hope you found some value from this, and I'll see you in the next one.